But comparing that guy's mental state, I've said it for years now, he's cogent. Mm-hmm. But I undersold him when I said he was cogent. He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. Intellectually, analytically, because he's been around for 50 years. And, you know, I don't know if people know this or not, Biden used to be a hothead. Sometimes that Irishman would get in front of the reasoning. Sometimes he would say things he didn't want to say. This is, and I don't really, you know what, I don't really care. Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it.
If it weren't the truth, remember, if it weren't the truth, he wouldn't say it. Well, boy, did we find out he was one of the biggest liars of them all. I want to talk about Joe Biden and the Democrat Party today, as well as Elizabeth Warren, and I'll get into that clip a little bit later. But before we get into that, I want to take a little trip down memory lane, right? Because remember, we all saw the videotapes, the clips, you know, the clip of Joe Biden wandering off like a lost puppy, the videotape of him having to look down at the ground to see the taped arrows on the ground so he could be guided where to go, or the other world leaders, you know, giving him gentle nudges to send him in the right direction. Or you guys remember Obama basically dragging the man off stage and then lying about it, saying, oh no, that's not what I was doing, when we clearly saw it. We clearly saw it. Or here's a funny one. Y'all gonna laugh at this one. You remember, end of quote, repeat the line. Well, also, I'm sure you guys remember, mainstream media and all of Democrats tried to lie to us and tell us that was all fake. That wasn't real. Joe Biden is the best ever. And if you don't recall, well, you know I come with clips, baby. Let's take a little trip down memory lane. Let's dive in.
The president had the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. You know, I can't even keep up with him.
The most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
I can testify because I've been working very closely with this president for the past 2 years. I've been knowing him for 30 years. And I'm telling you, this guy's tough. He's smart. He's on his game.
Joe Biden has vision. He has knowledge. He has a strategic thinker.
The president is focused. He's detail-oriented. He's always thinking about the big picture.
He is engaging. He is capable. He has an incredible record as president.
And I'm often with him on foreign trips. He's at the top of his game.
So he has a vision. He has knowledge. He has judgment. He has a strategic thinking.
I met with the president, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and he seemed fine to me.
I have complete confidence in the president. I have watched him expertly guide meetings of staff and cabinet members. I could not have more confidence in the president.
I would just tell you that I meet frequently with the president, and every single time I meet with him, he is just fine.
But he is.
Okay, so y'all get the message, okay? You get it. They all lied. They all blatantly lied, straight to all of our faces. As a matter of fact, you guys remember when Karine Jean-Pierre came out and said the video clips of Joe Biden, like they went so far as to say the video clips of Joe Biden are cheap fakes.
Secondly, there seems to be a sort of rash of videos that have been edited to make the president appear especially frail or mentally confused. I'm wondering if the White House is especially worried about the fact that this appears to be a pattern that we're seeing more and more often.
Yeah, and I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith, and some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these the right wing critics of the president have a credibility problem because of the fact checkers have repeatedly caught them pushing misinformation, disinformation, and so we see this, and this is something coming from your part of the world, calling them cheap fakes and misinformation.
Cheap fakes and misinformation. Okay. Well, I have this clip here from Sam goodness gracious, I can't get it out. Fragoso, okay? And he had Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, on his show. And he actually asked her about the Joe Biden situation. And I want y'all to see her face because, oh boy, does she realize she's backed into a corner. Check it out.
By the way, all polling in 2014 and 2015 said the same thing.
Yes.
They said, we don't really want Hillary Clinton. Some people actually even said, we kind of want Senator Warren. The Democratic Party went with Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
2023, after the midterms, the Democratic Party says, look at this. Look at how we outperformed. This is a referendum on Trump. This is actually an indication that people want Joe Biden. They made a connection that is not true, grounded in no reality. Now, 2 times, in 2016 and 2024, both of the times we lost, the Democratic Party has opted not to change. Now, we switched to Kamala Harris, obviously, but that was about 6 months too late. Why is the Democratic Party so slow to pivot? We have so many talented people. Why can we not get past our past?
Wait for it.
So I want to give an answer to a different question.
Of course you do. It's because I asked the question.
Of course.
You love to reframe every question.
I do. It's one of my superpowers.
You love to do this, but I'm asking you to answer my question because we don't have that much time left.
I know, and I'm going to run out the clock here.
I'll walk out.
Okay. I don't want to, for me, this isn't about looking backwards because it just isn't helpful unless what we're answering is, are we going to do any better going forward? Have we learned a damn thing?
No, that was my next question.
Okay, good. So I'm just right there with you on that question.
Okay.
And that is, we're learning, but slowly.
Okay. Do you regret saying that President Biden had a mental acuity? He had a sharpness to him. You said that up until July of last year.
I said what I believe to be true.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
I said I had...
Did you watch her whole body shudder? Oh my goodness. Watch that.
You think he was as sharp as you?
I said I had not seen decline. And I hadn't at that point.
You did not see any decline from 2024 Joe Biden to 2021 Joe Biden?
Not when I said that. You know, the thing is, he was sharp. He was on his feet. I saw him. Live event. I had meetings with him a couple of times.
Senator, on his feet is not praise. He can speak in sentences is not praise.
All right. Fair enough. Look, the question is, what are we going to do now?
Okay.
And what we're going to do now is...
Yeah, we're going to change the subject now because I don't want to be asked about the fact that I lied. So we're just going to change the subject. Goodness gracious. Democrats just refuse to just tell the truth. Just tell the truth. If Democrats came out and told the truth about it, honestly, I feel like there would be a good number of people that would just say, all right, you know what? We're going to let bygones be bygones. They'll do better next time, you know? Not me. I'm not one of those people because I know that's all BS. It's all a load of crap. Now, eventually they will do that. They will eventually start to come around, but understand that is only because they recognize that there's no way that they could possibly win again without it. Just saying. When they lose in the midterms, okay, and they lose in 28, that's when it's going to happen. Or I should say, after they lose in the midterms and then they lose in 28, that's when it's going to happen. After the 28 election and they lose again to J.D. Vance or whoever, is the Republican nominee, that's when they'll start apologizing. Maybe after the midterms. I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. I don't see that happening at this point. They're too far to the left, but guess only time will tell. What do y'all think?
Is we got 47 of us in the Senate, and we are pulling ourselves together because it increases our power. We don't have as much power as we want, but we don't have no power. And we got to use all of our tools in the toolbox to do as much as we humanly possibly can. This is now for all the marbles, Sam. And I get it. We could go back.
Last time was for all the marbles, I thought.
I get it.
In 2020, it was the soul of the nation.
I understand.
How many times is it going to be for all the marbles? Can we just have a normal election?
I'd love that.
How many marbles are there?
We got a guy right now who is saying that he's flirting with not obeying lawful court orders. But what he's doing is like a whole nother level of threat to the survival of our democracy and more of the.
I'm not trying to make light of that.
I know you're not. And what I'm trying to do is say, God dang, we can spend our time looking backwards and saying, you know what parts we didn't get right? Fine. And I'll stipulate. You can have it. But the question is, what are we going to do now? What tools have we got? How much can we herd our Democrats together? And how much can we get real power in this moment by getting people across the country to weigh in on their Social Security cuts, weigh in on the Department of Education cuts, weigh in on the healthcare cuts?
I agree. Let's talk about.
How many marbles are there? Hey, I love the fact that Sam brought that out on her, like called her out, because every election for Democrats is like an existential like crisis. It's like the end of times. Oh my goodness. 2016, Donald Trump. Oh my goodness, this is the end of times. Or back in the day, I think this was during Obama's time, where it was like vote or die. It's like, wait, what? So if I don't vote, I'm gonna die? Like, what are you talking about? How many marbles are there? That's what y'all said the last time. It's for all the marbles. You lost. I love that, man. I love that. I love that. That was a great way to call her out on the BS. And when Democrats ultimately do it again, right? Come the midterms in 2028, that's another line that we could just hit them back with. Hold on. How many marbles are there? Like, you said it was like the end of times the last 2 elections. So, like, it's the end of times again. Like, we made it through all those. And 2 of them you lost. 3. So, now all of a sudden again, it's like the end of times. Like, nah, not buying it. But, yeah, man, I loved some of those questions. I wish he would have, like, made her stick on them a bit longer and really, really dive into it a bit more. But that was hilarious, especially when she like shuddered when she was getting asked about Joe Biden. Oh my goodness. Wow. But yeah, man, y'all let me know your thoughts and your opinions on that. I hope y'all got a good laugh out of that. I know I sure did, because that was hilarious watching her tap dance around these questions. Oh man, that was a good one. Thanks for tuning in as always. Peace and love. I'm out.